Oh, good evening, I'm John Hemingway. You caught me just opening this lovely bottle of red wine. You know, some people before they drink wine like to analyse it. They'll have a real good look at the colour and give it a swirl around, take a good smell. And that's fine, but what troubles me is when I see people using those exact same techniques to analyse their forage. You know what I'm talking about, we've all seen it. Here we are, sifting through, and then a deep inhale. So let's cut to the chase. The year is 2023 and we now have better ways of analysing forage than using our nose. The distinction is this: poor quality wine will still do the job, poor quality forage won't. So let's talk about forage analysis. Here is a forage analysis. We've all seen one before. There's a lot of information there and we'll come back to that in just a second. But first I want to take a minute just to explain why it's so important that you get this done. And this is particularly applicable to farms that are housing their ewes over winter in late pregnancy. Now, for ewes that have got twins or triplets inside, during the last 6 to 8 weeks of pregnancy, energy requirements increased by about 60%. Protein requirements do a similar thing. Now, in almost all situations, in order to meet those increasing energy and protein requirements in the ewe in the last trimester of pregnancy, you're going to have to give some sort of supplementary feed. If we don't know the levels of energy and protein in the forage that we're offering, we really have no way of knowing how much supplementary feed we need to be giving. So if you haven't based your ration on a forage analysis, the overwhelming probability is that you're either overfeeding or underfeeding the ewes in that crucial stage of pregnancy. In either of those situations, you're losing money. And let me explain why. If you are overfeeding the ewes, then firstly, you're buying more concentrate feeds than you need to, and that is an expensive hobby. Secondly, your sheep can only eat so much per day, and if you're filling them up with concentrates, then you are displacing forage that they could be eating. So you're removing forage, which is a cheap source of energy, and substituting it with concentrate, which is a very expensive source of energy. Thirdly, feeding ewes too much concentrate actually reduces the efficiency with which they can digest the forage in front of them, because it changes the acidity of the rumen. On the other hand, if you're underfeeding ewes, you're looking at obviously reduced birth weights of the lambs. Secondly, you're looking at reduced lactation yield from the ewe. Udder development happens largely during the back end of pregnancy, so if nutrition then is wrong, it has a knock-on effect on the whole lactation. And of course, milk yield from the ewe is what determines your pre-weaning growth rate in the lambs, so it is a huge driver of productivity. Thirdly, if you really seriously underfeed the ewes, you're going to have an outbreak of twin lamb disease, and in that extreme scenario, we know that profitability is out the window and we're looking at a situation where we're just trying to limit the damage. So let's get that forage analysis. Forage analyses are a lot like gym memberships in the respect that they don't work unless you actually use them. So the easiest thing for you to do is going to be to give that forage analysis to your vet or to your nutritionist and say, can you do me a ration? So here is a forage analysis. Let's have a quick look at it. There's a lot of information on here, but the figures we're primarily concerned with are dry matter. This tells you how wet the forage is. ME, this is metabolizable energy, tells you how much energy the animal is able to extract from that forage. Then we've got protein. So some forage analyses will just give one figure for crude protein, and that's kind of okay, but the better ones will break protein down into the different ways that the animal is going to extract that protein. Now, if this interests you and you fancy doing the ration yourself, there is only one book that you need to look at, and it is freely available online, Feeding the Ewe. You can download it as a PDF. It goes through the entire year. It is just a brilliant resource. So as always, I would recommend making life easy for yourself. Get the forage analysis, get that data, send it off and get a ration back. Stick to that and you know that your late pregnancy nutrition is going to be on point. I hope you've enjoyed this short video. We'll be along soon with another one. I hope to see you there.